so much for joining today's call. We're pretty excited about a new partnership that we have with Splice. And I will not steal any thunder from Carolina. She kind of talks a little bit about her firm, but if you were at this year's user group meeting, you probably got an opportunity to at least see Carolina as she joined us and went down the partner track. But as most of you know, you've been on the system for quite some time. We're always looking for ways to improve things. And one of the ways that we wanted to partner was to improve some of the customer communications. As we look at the future of managing customer expectations in an Amazon type of community, where software is really, literally, truly eating the world, we wanted to make sure that we aligned ourselves with some of the best of the best. So Dave, if you go on to the next slide, what I'd like to kind of talk about too is the caboodle model. So just some quick introductions is myself, Josh. Most of the folks on the phone know me. I'm the National Sales Manager for Insuresoft. I'll talk just a quick minute about the partnership overview and then turn everything over to Carolina Congdon and David Gomez. Carolina works for Splice, and she'll be talking to you a little bit about that. And then David was instrumental in the integration to Diamond. So this integration went live with the the February release, 534.002. So if it's something that you're interested in towards the end of the call, feel free to shoot me an email, give me a call. We can talk a little bit about the implications to your organization by leveraging Splice. So if you go on to the next slide, Dave, really what I wanted to kind of come across, and I'll just spend a minute here, is most of you, especially if you've attended a user group meeting, you've heard the word caboodle. And caboodle really is the insurance collaborative or the ecosystem that Insuresoft was instrumental in building with our other partners, Covenir and Red Hawk. Part of my job here is to look for these strategic partnerships with organizations like Splice so that we can provide better ways to work in today's environment. Like I say, that Amazon type of experience that people are looking for day in and day out, they also want with their insurance company. So Carolina, I'm going to turn it over to you now and let you kind of give a background on Splice and control the call. I will go on mute so nobody has to hear me getting all excited about this and dancing or anything like that. So Carolina, the floor is yours.
Sounds good. Thanks, Josh. David, if you just flip over to the next slide. As Josh mentioned, I manage partnerships and alliances at Splice Software. So I thought I'd give you kind of a brief overview of what we do. So Splice creates stronger connections between insurance companies and their policyholders by delivering personalized automated messages. So we want to be able to help brands connect with their clients in new and innovative ways and help close those communication loops. So we do that in a variety of different ways. The first one is by proactively contacting customers through each stage of the policyholder journey. So we want to make sure that we're keeping policyholders informed in order to reduce any inbound inquiries that are coming into your call center or to your agent. So not only that, but our notifications will also help increase that customer satisfaction and experience. So obviously human time is more expensive than sending out an automated notice. So we're trying to help bridge that gap. So we also want to help clear any kind of communication clogs that are happening in your pipeline that results when policyholders fail to provide the necessary information that you require or respond to any kind of important requests that are delivered through other channels, such as direct mail or email. An example of this would be if you're waiting for a particular form to be completed in order to move forward with a policy change, or if you don't have the images that you need of a damaged piece of property in order to move forward with a claim. So we can help notify those policyholders that that important documentation needs to be complete in order to keep moving forward with their claim or policy. And then so overall, what we want to do is help companies speed up their claims, also improve cash flow, and then just overall streamline any kind of processes in your business. So jumping to the next slide, please. So how we do this is with our data-driven dialogues. So we want to help consolidate your communications experience and brand voice by providing a variety of different channels. And these channels include phone, SMS messages, and email. And what we mean when we say data-driven is that these notifications are triggered by the client or the insurance company based on certain events. And David will kind of showcase this in the demo later. And then jumping to the next slide. So why do we think our data-driven dialogues are great? Our personalized phone messages have a natural human voice and include various options for personalization. So that's kind of what makes us a little bit different than other communication providers. We help gain channel of choice consent and manage any kind of preference data as well. So whether people want to be contacted via phone or if they'd prefer to receive a text message instead. We're very flexible in terms of scripting and including that personalization piece. And we work with insurance companies to create programs that fit within your particular policyholder journey because we know not everyone's the same. But we also do have out-of-the-box use cases in place with Insuresoft already, which David will showcase as well. We're very agile in terms of implementation, and we have quick start programs available with Insuresoft, and we're fully compliant with any kind of regulatory bodies, so the CRTC or FTC, and we stay very up to date on any national do not call lists to make sure that we're not calling anyone that's opted out. And then lastly, customizable caller ID. So providing that extra layer of trust, we can kind of change the caller ID to come from a local phone number. Sometimes when you receive a call on your phone, it shows up as a 1-800 or 1-888 number, and you're not really sure if it's a spam call or if it's something really important. So we can help change that caller ID to be more likely picked up by the end consumer. And we do provide reporting as well. So a lot of our reports will include how many people got our messages, how many people picked up live, how many went to voicemail. And then one of the big pieces of this is we can actually let you know how long people listened to the message. So we do provide a listenership graph. So you're able to kind of see if people are listening to the majority of the message or to the important pieces. So with that, I will pass it off to David to show you how our integration with Diamond works.
All right. Thank you very much, Carolina. And now, as far as the integration with Diamond, in order for us to be able to send the insured a call, they must first be opted in for this functionality. And I would like to direct you to screenshot number 1. Here, we see that we have the manage notification options. And once we click on change, we are presented with screenshot number 2. And this is our policyholder notification screen. And as we can see on screenshot number 2, the insured has not opted in. In this case, they are opted out. So the fields, they're all disabled. So we can't enter any data here. Now on screenshot number 3, once we opt in, then the fields can be edited and we can enter data. I would like to direct you to the center of screenshot number 3, where we have the methods of delivery or the delivery method. As we can see, we have 2 options. We have the primary and the alternate phone number if we want to send a call, or we can have a separate phone number for our text messaging. Once this is saved, then the insured is now opted in to receive a phone call or text. One thing I would like to note about these screens or these options is that this can be exposed on the agency and on the consumer web, which will allow the actual customer to opt in on the consumer web, or you can also do that on the agency web. And on our next slide, we do have to set up the system to be able to send these calls. The first part of this is on the interface settings. We have to set the API token and the API URL. These two will be provided by Splice. We do have to enable the actual interface to be able to use it. We have to set the export directory. And the export directory will save a call file that is generated by Diamond when the calls are actually sent. We also have to set a return URL. And this URL is what Splice uses when they send more information to an insured. And I actually have a sample of this in my next slide. But this URL is oftentimes the link to the consumer web, but this can be customized to meet your needs. We also have to set a end of period process. The process is named process Splice notification. Once this process runs, then the calls will be sent out. And on our next slide, now that the insured is opted in and our system has been configured to work with Splice, I would like to direct you to screenshot number 1. As we can see, the policy has been set in the status or has entered in the notice of cancellation. Since this event has been triggered, Diamond will now send out a call. And I'm really excited to share the audio file or the audio sample of what you will hear when you receive this call. And without further ado, I will play that for you.
Hi, Jane. This is a courtesy call from Diamond Insurance with an important account notification for your commercial auto policy. This account is now overdue. To hear the overdue amount, please press 1 now. Thank you. According to our records, your account is showing a past due amount of $483.67. To pay your account online, visit our website and log in using your policy number, or press 2 now to receive the link on your mobile device. If you would prefer to speak to a representative, please press 3, or call us back at your convenience at 704-999-3327. To repeat this message, please press 4. If you would like to opt out of our automated notification service, please press 6 or call 833-737-6625. Thank you for choosing Diamond Insurance.
Okay, and so that was the audio sample of what you will hear when you actually receive this automated phone call. Something I did want to highlight is how personal of a greeting that was. We were addressed by our name. We were given very valuable information about how much is past due. We were given information on how we can pay. We were given information on if we did not want to receive these calls anymore. And we were also given the option to receive a text with information on what we just heard. And that will lead me to screenshot number 2. If we take a look at screenshot number 2 on the right, this is a sample of a text that I received that gives me information on how to pay my account. And there we have the return URL that we discussed earlier. This can be customized to meet your needs, but this is a sample of a text message that was actually sent. And on our next slide, we'll discuss the first notice of loss. On screenshot number 1, we see that we are about to submit a first notice of loss. Once this is submitted, this event will also trigger a phone call, and we also have sample audio for that, and I will play that right now.
Hi, David. This is a courtesy call from Diamond Insurance with an update regarding the recent claim submission on your personal auto policy. We would like to let you know that this claim has been received, and we will notify you when an adjuster has been assigned. For more information on what you can expect during the claims process, please visit our website. To receive this link by text message, please press 1. If you would like to speak with a Diamond Insurance representative, please press 3 now or call 704-999-3327 at your convenience. To opt out of automated claims notifications, please press 6 or call 833-737-6625. Thank you for entrusting us with your insurance needs.
Okay, and that was the sample audio for the first notice of loss. And again, I just want to highlight how we are greeted by name, and that does give it a very personal feel. We're given information on the claim process, and also we're given options. You know, press this button to be sent to a live person, or you could call on your own time. Here's this information. If you don't want to hear this anymore, you can opt out as well, and you're given information on that. But again, you were given information to receive this in a text. And again, if we take a look at screenshot number 2, we see that we are sent a text with claims process info. And again, there's that URL that we discussed earlier, and that's a return URL. You can customize this to meet your needs. And now we will move on to a very important part of the calls as well, is the actual logging that occurs, because we want to know what calls went out, we want to know if the insured is opted in, and we also want to know who's making these changes and if they were successful or not. In this case, I would like to direct you to screenshot number 1. This is an example of the history that's being logged when an insured opts in or out, who is making the changes to this information, the phone number being used for the calls, whether they are receiving text or not. So this is just a sample, and most importantly, the date that it was added. So this is an example of the history tracking. On screenshot number 2, we also have a log of the calls that are sent. And if we take a look, we see whether or not the insured is opted in, for which policy number this was for, which image of the policy actually triggered this event or this call. If it's for a claim, we have that number saved as well. We have the type of call, the late payment notice or the first notice of loss. We have the status, if it was processed. Here we see that several have been processed. There are 2 that are queued, but we also will show you if something failed, if there was an error, or if the insured opted out, so the system will skip that call as well. Those are statuses that will be tracked. And very important as well, we have the date that it was processed. This rounds out the integration in Diamond. I would like to open this up if we have any questions.
Hey, David, this is Curtis Mass at Grange.
Hey, Curtis.
Hey, I think, as you know, we have our own consumer and agent portals. Is this something that's exposed through the DCO as far as the opt-in, opt-out options?
You know, Curtis, I will have to check with development on that. Right now, I believe we only worked on this on the consumer web with our system, but I can follow up with you on that.
I'd appreciate if you would. I mean, it looks interesting. I know we would want to manage the relationship through our interface with all the back end might be very useful to us.
Okay, no problem. I will definitely follow up.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Do we have any other questions or any concerns?
I've got one question for Carolina when she's ready, but let's stay on your part for now. And other people have some questions, it sounds like.
Yep. David, this is Prathima, and Curtis, let me address your question because it's a little bit technical. So the information that David presented as far as policyholder notifications, that information is present in DCO. It should be off of policy because we don't require a transaction to update that information. But like David said, we will follow up with you with any information from a technology perspective or the integration services perspective.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Prathima. So did you want to field any questions right now, Carolina, or did you want to wait till after the next slide?
Sure, we can wait till after the next slide.
Okay, no problem. Do we have any other questions on integration with Diamond? Okay, no problem. If there are any questions that do come up later, or you think of an idea, or you just want to know more, you can please feel free to send me an email, David Gomez, and I'd be happy to follow up with you, or Josh, and I'd be happy to follow up. And I will now turn it over to Carolina.
Awesome. Thanks, David. So this last slide really just kind of showcases our idea of the insurance customer journey and some of the use cases that we have worked on with our clients in the past. It's obviously not limited to what's on the screen, but some examples of where our notifications provide high value is anywhere from policy issuance and onboarding. So this could be application status notifications, welcome messages, any kind of renewals. Billing notifications is a really important one as well. Premium increase notifications, late payment reminders like the one that David showcased, which we already have in place with Insuresoft. Anywhere throughout the claims process. So that could be the first notice of loss acknowledgement, like we showcased, any kind of claim status update or appointment reminder, and then just a claims closure notification just to round out that entire process. We've also done customer satisfaction surveys, so NPS surveys, which can then redirect to your call center or agent if necessary. And then maintenance tips and catastrophic alerts. So anywhere that there's a high volume of notifications that need to go out in a short amount of time, we can definitely support that using our messages. So I'd like to open it up to questions now. If anyone has any, I think there was one at least.
So it's Curtis again. It's nobody else jumped in. Carolina, one of the things I've noticed recently is newer phone systems that people have will, if they don't recognize the phone number coming in, it'll prompt the system or person to press 1 or press 3 to get rid of robocalls. Do you guys have technology to hear those prompts and bypass them, or do what they tell you to do to get past the blocker?
You know what? That's a great question. Let me just think about that for a sec. It's not an issue just because we have it coming from the insurance company's phone number. So that phone number should, for the most part, be recognized by your policyholder's phone. And
okay.
we haven't.
It'd have to be a proven number first. From what I've seen, is that the person has to have accepted a call from that number at least once. In order to let it get past the blockers. And the one that I've experienced is the system says, the phone will ring, the machine kicks in and says, please press 1 to continue. And most of the robo blockers don't know how to do that. And if you don't press 1, you don't go anywhere. It just cuts you off. So that's what I was curious about.
Yeah, I mean, at this time, I don't. We haven't necessarily run into that with any of our current clients. It's something that I'll have to confirm with our technical team, but yeah, we haven't encountered it as an issue as of yet.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Any other questions? All right, if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out. Oh, there might be a question in the chat.
Yes, I was about to address that.
Okay,
and the question is, assuming we need to have the billing option turned on through Diamond in order to use the billing notification, and this is separate. This was built into on that screen that I presented on the manage the options for your notifications. This is separate since the integration was built to handle when a policy enters into legal notice of cancellation. You don't have to do anything else other than to configure the system to be set up to send the calls to Splice, to have the accounting or the information for the API, and enable the period process. Once you have that set up and the insured has been opted in, then Diamond will send those calls or send that information to Splice, and the calls will be sent. There won't be anything else that you need to set up.
David, this is Prathima. I believe the customer that asked that doesn't use billing in their system. So if you are not using billing, though, that is definitely something that is needed. So if you're not using the notice options, you do have to have that enabled to be able to have the customer experience.
Okay. Thank you, Prathima. All right. Did we have any other questions?
David, this is Curtis again. One last quick one. Am I seeing it right that this is being recorded?
Yes. Yes, this is being recorded.
There are probably a couple business folks I'd like to share this with. So if you can send out a link to the recording afterwards, that'd be great.
Okay, no problem.
Awesome.
Right.
Well, if there aren't any other questions, this is Josh again, just want to personally thank everybody for joining us today. We figured we'd be able to get through this high-level overview very quickly. And if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to anybody on the call. Or you can shoot us an email at sales@insuresoft.com, and we'll work with you to answer any follow-up questions, or provide a deeper dive demonstration into the data-driven dialogues. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me. And thanks everyone.
Absolutely. Thanks, Carolina.
Thank you, everyone.